Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Now at 10, we are keeping a close eye on Hurricane Melissa, which is now a Category 5 hurricane. It could be the strongest storm to hit the island in recorded history. The main concern is these strong winds you see that have already reached up to 175 miles per hour. There's also concern about catastrophic flooding, landslide, and the power could be out for days or possibly weeks. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We begin tonight with team coverage.
Kay Pattyfoot talked with relief aid groups here in Connecticut that are getting ready to deploy. We'll show you how teams plan to respond as soon as conditions warrant.
And we have Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank standing by. She has been tracking Hurricane Melissa through the weekend. She's here with the first check on the forecast. Rachel, what's it looking like right now?
Yeah, this weekend the storm just rapidly exploded and dropped in pressure, and now it looks like this will be the strongest storm to ever make landfall in Jamaica in recorded history. So whatever kind of baseline residents in Jamaica have had, this storm will end up being far worse. You can actually see towards the end of this loop here that the storm is starting to take that curve to the northeast, that dreaded curve towards Jamaica. And this storm will end up making landfall as a Category 5 hurricane. That's what the National Hurricane Center track has. And its slow movement is what is most concerning. I mean, right now it's moving at 2 miles per hour. The slower a storm moves, the more rain it dumps, the more time with catastrophic winds, the more landslides we're going to see from that heavy rain. And that'll be an issue not only tonight, but into tomorrow and even tomorrow night as the storm is pulling away. After that, another landfall will happen in Cuba. That'll be tomorrow evening. And then the storm will move into the southeastern Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos, and even Bermuda. Impacts from this storm: extensive infrastructure damage and long-duration outages, including community isolation. Okay, many people in Connecticut are already figuring out ways to help, and we have Kay Pattyfoot standing by live in Hartford. Kay, you spoke with folks who are preparing for the worst.
That's right. I spoke with people who have family on the islands, and they say they are doing all that they can to stay safe during the storm. Some of the main concerns are access to food and health care. Hurricane Melissa is leaving many Jamaicans here in Connecticut fearful.
I'm very nervous because of the slowness of it all and the fact that they've been having heavy rains for the past week and a half.
Marva Douglas Wilkes, president of Taste the Caribbean Arts and Culture, says she's been checking in on her family there.
A family member said that when they got to the grocery store yesterday, they had a big tractor trailer with bread, and before the bread guy could get into the grocery store, people was already like trying to buy the bread off the thing because everything, you know, they know it's going to be a while before they can get stuff again.
And Donovan Longmore, the Connecticut representative for Global Jamaican Diaspora, is concerned about folks in rural areas.
Jamaica has been through so many, and we're much of a resilient group of people, and we've survived a lot, but at the same time, the conditions that you see what hurricane caused can really leave people, especially those in rural area, in such a mess.
AmeriCares is prepared to help out in any way possible.
We are looking at assessing what could take place and preparing with medicines, medical supplies, and other relief items to help survivors of this hurricane.
Local organizations in Hartford will be helping too. I spoke with Hartford City Council President Shirley Surgeon on the phone. She says the West Indian Social Club will hold a community response meeting on Wednesday at 7 p.m.
We need all the help we can get. You know, one of the things is people go to Jamaica, they love our music, they love our culture. We really need help now. The country really needs help right now. So we're asking anyone and everyone, you know, they can come by for the emergency, you know, meeting.
AmeriCares, the link to donate to AmeriCares will be on our website at fox61.com. And again, that emergency response meeting will be held here at the West Indian Social Club on Wednesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Live in Hartford, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Thank you, Kay. Well, involved in the death of Jacqueline Torres Garcia, whose family called her Mimi.
Now, police say Jonathan Nanita, the boyfriend of Mimi's mother, is now charged with tampering with evidence and removal of a dead body. Police say he did this on September 29th of this year. Officials found her remains more than a week later. Nanita was already facing murder and risk of injury to a child charges. Court documents show Mimi's mother, Carla Garcia, knew Nanita had hidden Mimi's body in a tote and left it at an abandoned home in New Britain. Nanita is being held on a $5 million bond and is due back in court next week. Well, today we got new body cam video that shows officers shooting a suspect on the highway.
This happened on I-84 in East Hartford early Saturday morning. The suspect is still in the hospital. The Office of Inspector General says it all started just before 2 a.m. in Manchester. Officers pulled over Samuel Lee for a violation. Officers say they briefly talked to him, but then he sped off and almost hit a police cruiser. Police went after the car. At times, officers say Lee went up to 70 miles an hour on town roads.
Now, police put stop sticks down at one of the entrances to I-84. Officers say when Lee drove over them, several of his tires were punctured, but he kept going toward East Hartford. Police say Lee then rolled down his window and actually fired a handgun multiple times at the officers, and at least one cruiser was hit by a bullet. The Inspector General released video that shows two different angles of the moment those bullets hit the police car. Take a look. All right, you can see and hear their officers firing back. Police say one bullet hit Lee in the hip. He finally stopped and was taken to the hospital, and he is expected to recover. The Inspector General says Lee has 6 outstanding rearrest warrants from different jurisdictions. There is also now an arrest warrant for this incident, which includes felony charges.
Watertown police are searching for 37-year-old James Pacino of Oakville. Officers say Pacino is wanted on domestic violence charges after an incident yesterday. He took off before police arrived and he could be injured. Investigators say he was last seen driving a silver GMC 2500 pickup with Connecticut plates C394041. Anyone who sees him or knows where he is should contact Watertown police right away.
Well, teachers in New Haven are pushing for change. Members of the New Haven Federation of Teachers rallied outside King Robinson School this afternoon to call for a fair contract. They say they want smaller class sizes, better support for special education students, and safer, well-maintained school buildings. The union's also fighting for pay raises and stronger benefits and says it's all about giving students the resources they need to succeed.
We care about our students, we care about our schools, and we want to negotiate a contract that's going to deliver world-class schools for our students and for our communities.
Union leaders say hundreds of people turned out to show their support. Teachers say they will keep showing up until the district agrees to a deal that supports both educators and students in the classroom.
Early voting in Connecticut municipal elections ends in 6 days, and the general election is Tuesday, November 4th.
Voters have had 14 days to cast their ballots early from October 20th up through November 2nd. Now, for most days, locations will be open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., but there are extended hours from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. on October 28th and October 30th. Tonight, we have an update on how many people across the state are heading to the polls to participate in current early voting. So far, more than 68,000 people have voted early and more than 12,000 absentee ballots have gone out statewide. Each city and town has at least one early voting location. If you're not sure where yours is, you can find it online, and we have a link on fox61.com. Well, there is a unique mayoral race taking place in one Connecticut town that pits a 2-term incumbent running against a teenager.
They're both looking to be the voice of Wyndham. Fox 61's Brendan Mackey went to go meet the 2 candidates.
Election day is right around the corner, and the town of Wyndham is getting a lot of attention in their race. Democrat Tom DeVivo is looking for re-election, while Republican Haley DeZonia is looking to shake up the polls at just 19 years old.
I I think a lot of people are willing to accept the change and willing to see what I can do.
Most 19-year-olds aren't running for mayor, but this is nothing new to Haley DeZonia. She's already been involved in the political scene at Windham for a few years.
When I turned 16, I became the youngest member of the Republican Town Committee here in Windham, and I've helped other people with their campaigns pretty much my whole life, and I decided once I got settled into the workforce that I wanted to run.
On the other side, Haley's competitor, Tom DeVivo, has a resume that looks quite different. DeVivo is looking for his third term running for mayor to continue the work he's already been doing.
If I'm fortunate enough to be reelected, I'm going to continue my path of building Windham, trying to make Windham more affordable, find ways to increase our grand list, and hopefully bring more jobs to our community.
Why are you so motivated this time around? You've already had it a few times. Why is this time different?
Well, those of you who know me in the town of Windham, I'm always motivated. I love to campaign because I really want to know what the residents of my community want and the future that they want to see.
Despite their differences, they do share the same goal, and that's to make Windham an amazing place to live for its residents. That's why they have admiration for each other.
Well, I had met Haley before. I've run against her father twice, and so I had met her, and she was, of course, much younger, but you know, it's good to see a young person step up and listen to the new ideas.
There's never been any disrespect in between us. You know, we don't agree with everything the other one says, obviously. You know, we're in two different parties, we're two different people.
Of course, everyone is encouraged to go out and vote, and we will have the results right here on Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus on November 4th. I'm Brendan Mackey.
Connecticut Attorney General William Tong will make a major legal announcement tomorrow at noon in Hartford. He'll be joined by Congresswoman Jahana Hayes, state lawmakers and advocates. The announcement centers on the Trump administration's decision to suspend November SNAP payments, a move that could impact thousands of Connecticut families who rely on food assistance. Tong says the state is ready to take strong legal action to protect families and make sure they get the support they need.